Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I am your host today, Maylin and Boys for True Print for Life podcast. We are so excited to connect with you today and just recap and share some thoughts that have been on my mind lately. I'll start with this one. I've been getting some questions. We have been getting some questions about the way that things are right now and kind of like what should we be doing to prepare. So as if you know and you know me, I'm all about positive thinking and strength, mindset and affirmations and manifestation, and I'm still that person. But also, or I should say and we're thinking about how can you also be real in this moment. So my mantra this week, and I had to speak to a couple groups this week, national levels at different employers and organizations, different ages of people, and this has been my thing. We should prepare for the worst, but be hopeful for the best. And what does that mean? And how do you do that? How did you stay positive as you prepare for the worst? I truly believe that if you focus on what's negative, you're going to attract that. So my planning for the worst doesn't take a whole lot of time. It's just, you can set a timer and say, okay, for the next 10 minutes, I'm going to focus on what would I do if X happens, whatever that means. That could be for you, could be losing your job, if you get a bad health, you get a breakup, that, apply this to any situation. And I think it would be a formula of how to take action now and for the future. So one of the first things that I'm doing right now, so I'll speak for myself, is that I am checking my home, right? So what can I control? So step one is think about the things that you can control and do not worry about the things that you cannot control, because that's really a waste of time and energy. So what can I control? I can control what I spend, a lot of the things, right? So there's some things that are necessities, but what do I spend? Do I know where my money is going? Do I know how much money is coming in? People call this a budget. I know we have talked about finances and budget a lot in this podcast, and you may think I love budgets. I really don't like budgets, to be honest, but it is something that I truly believe could give you the freedom and the peace of mind if you know what's coming in and what's going out. Why are we doing this? Because maybe there's some things like, I don't know if you have subscriptions. I keep getting these ads on my phone like, hey, for the small fee, get this app and it will find all the subscriptions that you're in and you can cancel them. I am sure if I look through my bills, which I'm doing, I will find subscriptions that I'm no longer using and I no longer need, and they just need to be canceled because they're really a waste of money and time. So that's the first thing. So what are you spending? Is there anything that you don't need and that you can do without, and that will save you some money that you can now instead either invest or put into a savings account, right? Or do something with it to grow it. So that would be the next thing. Then look in your house. Like, it's a time to declutter. Like, do you have too many things that you no longer need? Like, for example, I have a 2-year-old, and my mom and I have been looking around the house, and there's so many things that he no longer uses, like little bouncy toys and things like that are no longer needed because now he cannot even fit on those things. So we have gathered all the small clothes or the toys that he no longer needs and equipment, baby equipment, I call it, extra chairs that he doesn't need. And we're giving it to someone that needs it, or it's going into donation. And if donation don't take it, it's going to the trash, because it is no use to us to keep, using our space for things we no longer need. So looking at your finances, what can you do without? What can you do more? What do you have to stop doing? What do you need to start doing with your finances? It's important. Can you declutter your house? I also find that when I have a place that is like clean and there's space in there, I think better. I am happy. I have a room in my house. If you ever seen pictures online, like, it is so big and it's like a dance floor. And that's how I envisioned when I first got the house. Like, this is going to be a dance floor. This is going to be for fun and entertaining. And for a while, it was full of baby stuff, so it was not for that. But when we were doing Jaira's birthday, we had an opportunity to actually clean it up to get it ready for the party. And once we clean it up after the party, I refuse to put stuff in that room. I just want to have the room empty, and then Jaira can just run around, and I can, I sometimes dance with him, and we just twirled and we do all these things. And I love it because it's such a space to give me peace and joy, and it just reminds me of abundance and that I don't need to have too many things, material things, to feel joy. So that's how I'm decluttering my house. I have a basement that is the next attention. I'm the one in the community that when someone is moving, they call me to see if I want to get their extra stuff in case somebody else needs it or there is someone in need. And I have always said yes. I just don't know. I did not know. I'm speaking with my future. How to say no. And my garage and some places in my basement are full of stuff in case someone ever needs it. I know it sounds insane, but I just always want to be ready in case somebody needs it. So I had to come to terms this week with, I'm going to look at everything that I have, see what I need, because I'm rearranging some places in the house. And then I'm opening it up to my family and friends, whoever needs anything, a table, chairs. I have high top chairs for like a kitchen island that I don't need. And I have asked a few people, they don't seem to need it yet. So I have so many things, lamps, all of these things. So if I'm going to make an announcement, I already told my family they're coming over on Sunday. If everyone that comes is not eating anything from there, it's going into Facebook Market. And if nobody gets it from there within the week or so, I am going to call Volunteers of America and donate the thing because I cannot have it in my house. I will no longer be the holding in case something happens. I feel like that's what Goodwill is for now. Thrift stores, Volunteers of America, and the free store that are around my area in Columbus. So that is a shift that I'm making because it's definitely just the right thing to do. And I need to clear my garage. So that's happening, right? So decluttering the house. Same thing with clothes. Go through your closets. I have downsized my closets a couple times, with my fitness journeys and then some things that no longer look great on me. So definitely had to get rid of those things. And now my rule, I'm really trying to implement this rule, is easier said than done. Every time I get a shirt or a piece of clothing into my house, another piece of clothing needs to leave. I'm not 100% with that yet, but I'm hoping to get there. So if you're able to do that, kudos to you. That is what I'm trying to implement. Same thing with toys for Jaira. We don't have so many toys. He's blessed that people have given him toys. But I want him, as soon as he starts talking, I want him to understand that if we are bringing new stuff inside the house, then we need to start taking all things outside the house because there's no need to have all of this stuff, right? All these material things. So that is some of the things that we're doing. What are you doing spiritually to get ready, right? For me, affirmations are so important. I did without them for a while, and I noticed how worry I would get about things, how my day didn't seem to flow as easy. Also, maybe how I was not thinking so positive. And I really attribute that to the lack of intentional time for myself to meditate, pray, and do affirmations. So now I have this affirmation app, and my goal is to look at it every day, even if for 2 or 3 affirmations. And I have this really cool thing because it tracks how many days you do it in a row. And I was so proud because I got to 20 days, and I was like, this is amazing. I'm going to get to 30. I don't know what happened the next day. And I didn't open the app, and I didn't think 24 hours had passed, but it did. And I had to restart the count of days. And I was devastated because I was like, oh my gosh, I came so far. So after that, I continued to do it. And there has been a couple of times where I had to start over. But now I have more grace with myself. Okay, so if 24 hours happened, maybe that was just really insane 24 hours and you didn't have the opportunity, but it's okay, start today. So if affirmations work for you, Find an affirmation app. I have the I Am app. I pay like a small fee for the year for it. I think it's the best investment I make. I also have affirmations. I have a playlist on YouTube. So I go ahead and I have a couple for the mornings for abundance, for gratitude, for things working out for me, like the different ones. I also have a prayer list, a playlist, and I have those ready. So if I don't have to even think sometimes of finding something, I can just go into my playlist and play it. I have a worship playlist. I have a couple playlists just in case things get rough and I don't have an opportunity to search. I can just go to those and get started to get my mind right. So find what spiritual practice works for you. Maybe just looking at the sunset every morning when you take your sip of coffee and just saying a gratitude, like I'm grateful that I'm alive. I'm grateful that I can have my hot coffee. I know they seem so little and maybe like so unimportant, but I promise you, if you start the day with something like that, it really will prepare you to handle hard things a little bit easier. It's not going to stop you from getting hurt. It's not going to stop you from getting upset, but it's definitely going to set your mind to handle things a little bit better. I know it does for me. Also, work out. I know that in the times like this, we're so tired, we're overloaded with information, you're just exhausted. But I suggest that if you're a morning person, do 10, 15 minutes of a workout. It doesn't have to be long. If you're an evening person, do it in the evening. If you're an afternoon person, do it in the afternoon. Find the time that works best for you. For me, it's mornings. I made a deal with myself that I would do a mile or 30 minutes, whichever one comes first. And sometimes I'm trying to get a mile in 15 minutes. So I could be done with my workout in 15 minutes. It's like a little race that I have with myself. And I find that that's really helpful too. So those things are the things that are working for me in regards to like setting myself up for, a healthy way to deal with things. And you do all of that because before things get any worse, I feel, or things hit the fan, right? I think you want to have something you can anchor to that really is going to help you when things just don't go the way that you want. And it will also help you kind of have a routine and give you some peace of mind that you have control over some things. All the things that I share, believe it or not, you have control over. And no one can tell you how to do them. I can suggest, I can tell you how I do it. I can tell you why it's good for me. But at the end of the day, you have a choice. And you get to decide if you want to do this or not. And then you have the consequences along with that choice, But whatever you decide, you know that you get to choose that and you have the power over that. Now, that is how you get prepared. I read somewhere, I can't remember where, but I don't know if it was a podcast or a sermon or something, because sometimes our biggest fear is that this horrible thing is going to happen and we're not going to know what to do, or it's going to wreck us so bad and you're not going to know what to do. But the advice that it gave was, if you prepare for it, if you have a plan for it, it may still to shake you up a little bit, but you have a plan. So having a plan really helps us to not absolutely lose our minds when things happen that we're fearful of. So for example, I have a friend that the biggest fear was losing her job. I said, okay, that's the biggest fear. What do you think will happen if you lose your job? And we went over all the things, I'll be late on my mortgage. I won't be able to pay my bills, my health insurance, and all these things. I said, okay, got it. What would you do if you lose your job? Of course, God forbid, I will have to find another job. I'll have to update my resume. I have to find, support from the community or resources. Perfect. I said, well, what should we do now to get prepared in case that happens? Update the resume, right? Get the resume up and ready when you don't need to have it, so that way if you ever need it, you have it ready. What opportunities are out there that you may not have looked for, that in case something happens to that job, you may have to start a new career? What would you like to do if you were not doing this? What would you be doing? What would be like the perfect job for you? Like, what would be the perfect passion that you'd be involved in? What is a company that you like, man, if I had an opportunity, I would love to work for that organization or company? this is a perfect time to look into those organizations and companies and see how you can get connected. Not because you need a job right now, but it's just a good thing to start building relationships just in case. Okay, let's say, God forbid, you lose your house. Where will you go? Your house. That's why the answer I got was your house. That's true. You can come to my house. Whatever I eat, you eat. Okay, great. What else, right? Once we went through that exercise, it gave my friends such a peace of mind to know that, like, if the worst thing that I'm imagining happen, I have a plan, I have a support system, I will be okay. I will not be like super happy and dancing and doing cartwheels, but I'll be okay. And that's it. Once you do that, and I do this now with everything, like when something is really scary for me and I'm like, oh, it's the unknown, I don't know what to do with this, I start to think, all right, what is the fear? All right, what is the worst thing that could happen with this? This, okay. What will happen if this happens? This, okay. And then what would I do then if that happens? And I create a plan. And then I put that plan away and I don't look at that plan no more. I created my plan that should be off my head now. It should be off my mind. I should be able to focus on the things I need to focus. So now that we've done that exercise, now let's think about the happy things. This is my favorite part. You see, like, now I get excited. Like, let's go. The other part is like, oh, this is like, very type A planning. But I get really excited about thinking positive. Okay, let's say the bad thing doesn't happen, but what do I want to happen? Okay, I want to be doing the things that I love. Great. Are you doing that now? No. Okay, then find a way to do it. I want to save so much money. Okay, let's make a goal to save that money. I want to go to Europe. I want to go see Rome. I want to go see Paris. Perfect. When can you go? Let's set a date. When do you want to go? Who do you want to go with? Can you envision yourself there? What type of songs are you going to listen on the plane right there? What movies are you going to watch? Are you going to take a nap? Start planning like this about to happen. I know they say plan now like it's happening or it's already happened. You find the method that works for you. For me, I love planning ahead. I love seeing it like it's not here yet, but coming, or it's on its way. I start envisioning home. Sometimes I pray, I dream about it. But if you are another person that can look forward, to those things, maybe your manifestation works better when you speak on the past tense. I was so happy I went to France. I was so happy I had a great date there. I'm so happy I had the best crepe ever. I had the best dessert. I went to Rome and I had the best this. If that works for you, do that. If it works for you better in the present, I am in Paris. I am having the best time of my life. I am dancing in the streets of Rome. If that's what works for you, do that. I think everyone has a way of how manifestation works for you, right? What resonates better with you. There's so many methods online. You could go crazy searching, and you can. But for me, it's just like almost like the dream board, the vision board, putting all the pictures, all the feelings to it and envision it, right? I started doing the now too, I think that's a little bit extra for me, but that is just one way. And then think of the things that you want to happen, who you want to be around, what do you envision for yourself, what is the best thing that could happen. Do that thinking as well. And I would suggest to spend more time thinking about those things than the negative things. I have found for me that is a key to like a beautiful life, not perfect life, but a beautiful life full of gratitude. I wake up every day and I don't take for granted that I was given the gift of life. And I know I sound so corny, but there's people that did not wake up today. There's people that we love that are not here today. So I don't want to waste the gift of life worrying about things that are not happening and may never happen, right? Like, healthy worry is good, but like obsessive worry and paralyzing worrying is not good. I told a group of people, about 100 people or so, the other day, I said, listen, I have never not worried about something about the future. Like, oh my gosh, what if this happens? And I'm worrying. And then when that thing happens, I didn't worry no less, guys. Like, because I worry so much. I was still worried when it happened, It didn't like hurt less. So I just decided that I will focus on what I can control. I will, worry a healthy amount, like be aware and alert and prepare, and then set that to the side and focus my energy and this life that I have, because I only have one. You only have one right now to live in focusing on the things that we want and that we want to see. And I encourage you to have these conversations with your family members. I had a couple family members not long ago having a very difficult time, thinking positive. And I asked myself, like, how can I help them? And of course, you offer therapy and you do all the things. So what I started to do was finding my prayers and my affirmations that I would be listening to in the morning and sharing it with them. I'm like, listen to this. Listen, I'm praying for you. It's gonna be okay. Just think positive. Just pray together. Just do this together. And I don't take credit for that because I believe God spoke through me to do that. But I can see the joy in my family members now. I can see them being happier and I can see them smiling. And even when hard things are happening, they're still like just overcoming that with a more positive attitude. So if you are experiencing this type of things, I suggest that, of course, therapy, professional support is very important, but also you do the work and find positive things to focus on. And you'll see the algorithm. So my Instagram is really fun now. For a while, I wasn't seeing all the positive things because I think I was liking a lot of the negative things. But lately, since I started doing this exercise, my algorithm is back to positive quotes, positive news. Yes, I see the other ones, but I don't like them no more. I watch them, I see them, and then I only like the things that give me life and uplift me, and that's what I'm seeing more of. And it's the same thing with our life. The more you focus on the good things, the more good things will happen, and the more good things will continue to come into your life. So that will be my advice. I would love to hear from you guys. Like, if you listen to our YouTube or you come to our podcast, how are you dealing with difficult times? What techniques are working for you? Are you doing any of the ones that I shared today? Do you have any other ones? I love to hear new ones. I love to hear what's working for people because maybe I can learn some of those and implement them in my life. Have you helped someone with some of these things, and what's the outcome been? So we love, love, love to hear from you, and share those stuff with us. Share this podcast with someone that just may need a little pep talk and a little hope, right? A little hope in the times of need. And, if you ever want to be on our podcast, I also invite you to reach out to us. Send us a DM on the IG, right, in the app, and just gonna tell us that you want to be part of the podcast. And we'll be so happy to have you here and connect with you and learn from you and share with our followers. So we are gonna go ahead and gonna end this podcast now, but that is my message for today: to prepare for the worst, but hope for the best. And we hope to see you soon. As always, follow us on all of our social media platforms. And as we always say before we end our podcast, it's bigger than you. Thank you so much for listening today. We're excited and we hope that you follow us on
Instagram, True Print for Life, YouTube channel, also True Print for Life. And make sure that you share, like, watch our videos. Make sure that you follow us on all streaming platforms.